Hello, I'm Byron. I am an assistant professor of biostatistics and data science at the Wake Forest University School of Medicine. And I'm going to demonstrate in a quick video how to set up a new project in Rstudio and write a .gitignore file that will prevent you from pushing sensitive data to your GitHub repository by accident. So to do this, I'm going to share my screen. And you'll see I've got a blank Rstudio project up here. So I'm not in any particular project. And so we're really starting from scratch. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new project. And everything that I'm going to be doing in this video depends on having an R package installed called use this. So if you don't have the use this package, just make sure you install it. And then you'll be able to use all these commands. Of course, you're going to have to load the use this package, and then you'll be able to use the commands. So I'm going to create a project. I'm going to call the project guideline for data safety. And I'm just going to open it in my projects, where I keep all my projects. So now I've got a nice new project. And you can see that R has already, or use this has already created a .gitignore file for me, and also an R directory. But even still, I'm going to request that use this now use Git with this particular project. So I've created the project, and now I'm going to ask use this to set up Git with this project. And when this happens, use this is going to prompt me to make a first commit of all the files in the project, and that's just these two files. So I'm fine with committing those. And so I'm going to say absolutely, and then it's going to ask me to restart the Rstudio session. And we'll say, of course. Okay, so we now have a Git panel now that we've set up Git with use this. And as we start to make changes in the repository, you will see these files popping up in the Git panel that we can interact with and use to coordinate commits and pushes to the online repository. But we don't have an online repository yet, so let's fix that. So now we're going to use GitHub, another function from the use this package. And this relies on having your GitHub account linked with Rstudio. That can be done in a separate video, or you can find it online. Once you have linked everything up, it's pretty straightforward. All right, so use this has now created a repository for me called Guideline Data Safety. It's pushed the current main branch of my project up to GitHub, and it's pretty sparse. There's not much going on here. So now let's set ourselves up for not making a mistake. The way we're going to do this is by focusing on this file here, this file called .gitignore. We're going to add a line to this. And this line is just going to be the safe place. This is where it's safe to put data files that we do not want to commit, that we don't want to push to GitHub. So I'll put in data/sensitive. And so now if I put a file in this particular location, Git is going to ignore that file. So I will demonstrate. Make a directory called data. Inside of data, I'll make a subdirectory called sensitive. And now I'm going to write a file to both inside the data directory and also inside the sensitive directory. So let's just make a data frame real fast. This will be a very simple data frame. It's just one row, one column. And I'm going to write this data frame into the data directory first. I'm going to call the data in the data directory data_public. And then I'll write the same file into the sensitive directory. And I'll call this one data_secret. So now you can see that there's a file inside of the data directory, data public. And there's also a file inside of the sensitive directory, data secret. So now I'm going to look at my Git panel. All right, so Git panel recognizes that I've modified the gitignore file, and I'm going to go ahead and stage that. So staging means that I'm ready to commit this file. Now I'm going to check out the changes in the data directory, and you'll notice that this only includes data/data public.ps. It doesn't recognize anything as inside of the sensitive directory, and that is because gitignore is correctly ignoring anything inside of this file location. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a commit, and I'm going to say this commit is just focusing on the fact that I've made this addition to the gitignore file. So I think I will unstage the data change, and I will simply make this commit message protection from inadvertently pushing sensitive data to GitHub. All right, so now this will go in as the first commit. And then the second commit, now I'll actually add the public data. So I'll call this commit message, I will say, include public data. Okay, so now as my project matures, I'll just keep on putting the sensitive data in the sensitive directory, and it'll keep on getting ignored. But always double check anyway, just when before you push anything to GitHub, before you make any commits, just double check and ask yourself, is this the file that I want to add to this commit? And is it okay if this file lives online? And you'll be okay. Stop recording.